My girlfriend told her mom she was keeping me around until someone better came along. So I left. And that someone better turned out to be her sister. Alright, so picture this. About a year ago, something went down that I've only now gotten chill enough to talk about without freaking out. Buckle up, this story's a bit wild. So, I'm a 33-year-old dude, and I was dating Rachel, who's 30. We'd been a thing for a little over 3 years after meeting at a friend's event at a brewery. We clicked right away. She was smart, funny, had her act together, and I felt like I'd scored big time. While we kept our own places, we were practically living together, hanging out at hers most nights since it was closer to work for both of us. We even had keys to each other's places. Fast forward to last December, things were getting serious. We were spending loads of time together, had met each other's families, and even had those chats about the future. I was seriously thinking about popping the question come spring. Rachel's family lived about an hour away. Her mom, Carol, was nice enough, just a little nosy, and her younger sister, Jess, was cool, into the outdoors, working as a personal trainer, and always up for a chat. Their dad had passed away when they were young, so they were a close trio. We were at Rachel's mom's place for her birthday. Rachel forgot some ingredients for the dinner, so I said I'd go get them. It was snowing, and the nearest decent grocery store was a bit of a drive. After spending about 40 minutes getting everything, and even picking up some flowers for Carol, I got back to the house. Their place has this odd split-level entry through the garage, leading up to the kitchen and the living room right there. Just as I was coming in, I overheard Carol asking Rachel when I was going to propose, given how long we've been together. I listened in, not in a weird way, just curious. Rachel's response was a shocker. She said she wasn't sure if I was her forever guy and was basically keeping her options open in case someone better showed up. Ouch. Hearing that hit me hard. I left the groceries and flowers on the counter, set down the key to her place, and quietly walked out. Drove to a hotel nearby without saying a word. Not long after, my phone was blowing up with texts and calls from Rachel asking what was up. I sent her one text: "I heard what you said to your mom. We're done. I'll come by to get my stuff when you're not there." That night, I muted her notifications, ordered room service, had a drink, and tried to process everything. 3 years down the drain with someone who saw me as a backup plan. No, thanks. The next morning, I woke up to a ton of missed calls and texts from Rachel, saying I misunderstood and blaming it all on her mom's pressure. I wasn't buying it. I just went back to my apartment, glad I had kept it. I spent most nights at Rachel's trying to clear my head. The day after, I hit up her sister, Jess. "Hey, this is awkward, but I need a favor. I heard Rachel telling your mom she's keeping her options open in case someone better comes along. We're done. Can you tell me when she'll be at work next week so I can grab my stuff from her place?" There was silence, then Jess said she couldn't believe Rachel actually said that. It was a dumb move. "Yeah, she works Tuesday from 9 to 5. I can help you with your stuff if you want." That was surprisingly nice. Look, I love my sister, but what she said was awful. "You've always seemed like a good guy, you don't deserve that." "Thanks, Jess. I appreciate it." "No problem. For what it's worth, I think she's an idiot for doing that." Tuesday rolled around, so I went to Rachel's with some buddies to get my things. It wasn't much, some clothes, electronics, and a few books. I left anything I'd given her as gifts. I'm not that petty. As we were wrapping up, there was a knock. It was Jess. "Thought you might need help," she said. "And I wanted to check on you." "Rachel's a mess." "Not my problem anymore," I said, still packing. "Can't blame you. I do the same." We finished, and she suggested grabbing lunch. I hesitated, but figured why not. We hit up a nearby spot and talked for almost 2 hours, not about Rachel, but everything else. Books, hiking trails, the best pizza spots. It was surprisingly chill. At the end, Jess asked if I wanted to join her and some friends for a hike that weekend. Again, I thought, why not? Needed to keep busy. That hike turned into another, then rock climbing, and a concert. Just friends, hanging out, no pressure, just having a good time. I'll admit, I was a bit unsure about hanging with my ex's sister. It wasn't the norm, but Jess and I always got along. Now, I was seeing different sides of her grit on tough trails, her patience at the climbing gym, her vast indie band knowledge. We had more in common than I thought. Meanwhile, Rachel wouldn't quit, showing up at my place. I had to tell security to keep her out, and she was calling from different numbers, sending emails. She even got her mom to call me once, which was super awkward. "Matt, she made a mistake. She loves you. She's crushed." Carol, with all respect, she didn't make a mistake. She was honest when she thought I couldn't hear. That's who she is. People say dumb stuff they don't mean. I appreciate the call, but this isn't up for discussion. Take care. About 3 months later, Jess and I were having coffee after a morning run when things shifted. I can't really explain it, but suddenly she wasn't just Rachel's sister. She was just Jess, funny, straightforward, genuine Jess. I must have been staring because she asked, "What? Do I have something on my face?" "No, just, would it be weird if I asked you to dinner, like an actual date?" She thought about it. "Probably, definitely for Rachel, but I don't care if you don't." We talked about what it might mean for her relationship with Rachel, with Carol, the whole family dynamic. It wasn't just about us, but we both felt it was worth exploring. That Friday, we had our first official date, nice restaurant, great conversation, that spark of something new but familiar. When I walked her to her car, she said, "You know this is gonna cause drama, right?" "Probably," I admitted. "Worth it, though." She smiled, "Definitely worth it." We decided not to hide it but not to flaunt it either. Just live our lives. If Rachel found out, she found out. It took exactly 3 weeks. I was at my place cooking when my phone rang, Rachel's number. I'd unblocked her a few weeks back when she stopped trying to reach out. Against my better judgment, I answered. "So you're seeing my sister now?" Rachel yelled so loudly I had to pull my phone away for a second. "Hey, Rachel. Nice to hear from you too. It's been what, like, 5 minutes, and now you're with Jess of all people?" She screamed. "Rachel, it's been over 3 months. Yep, Jess and I are together. This isn't some lame revenge plot. We just like hanging out. It's not about you. And if you think it is, well, that's your issue." Rachel went off about how I was just using Jess to get back at her. "Think what you want, Rachel. I don't owe you any explanations anymore." She got all teary and confessed she messed up, saying she wanted to marry me but got scared. For a split second, I felt something, maybe just a bit of nostalgia, but it faded. "Rachel, I'm done with this call. Don't ring me again, please." Later, I told Jess about this whole drama. She wasn't shocked. "She called me too, accused me of betraying her," Jess said. "You good?" I asked. "Yeah, but Mom's not thrilled," she replied. Jess and I had some tough months after that. Her bond with Rachel went cold, and their mom, Carol, was caught in the middle trying to keep peace between her daughters. Family meetups became impossible. Jess skipped the usual Christmas shindig, spending it with my family instead. She coped, but I knew it bugged her. We talked a lot about whether our relationship was worth all this family stress. Jess was sure it was, but I was worried about the bigger picture. I didn't want to be the wedge in her family, especially since her dad was gone. Honestly, dating Jess wasn't some revenge scheme. It just happened, you know? Life's funny like that. Rachel wanted to keep her options open for someone better, but turns out, someone better happened for me. Update time, it's 6 months later, about 9 months since that grocery store drama. Jess and I are still together, and things are going strong. Since we met through Rachel, we kind of skipped the whole getting to know you phase and jumped straight into the deep stuff. Surprisingly refreshing. The family situation is getting better slowly. Carol started by having lunch with Jess alone, carefully sidestepping any mention of Rachel. Then there were a few dinners where I got invited. It was awkward at first, but Carol finally admitted, "I don't get how this happened, but you two seem right for each other." Rachel stopped reaching out to us. Last we heard, she moved to Seattle for a job. Probably better for everyone, it's some much needed space. Carol has come around completely. At a family dinner last weekend, she pulled me aside and said something that stuck. "Sometimes things don't go as planned, but they end up how they should." She's wise when she's not pushing her daughters to tie the knot. Occasionally, people ask if I'm dating Jess just to stick it to Rachel. The answer was always no. Sure, we started in a weird way, but what Jess and I have is its own thing, separate from the past. Some mutual friends sided with Rachel, which was expected, but the ones who mattered stuck with us. So, here's the scoop. Our college pals and Jess's gym buddies totally stuck with us through everything. Meanwhile, the friends we'd made with Rachel as a couple just kind of drifted off. It's funny how life works out like that. Anyway, Jess and I are gearing up for a trip to Yellowstone next month. It's her first time, but I'm a seasoned pro since it's my 3rd visit. She's super excited and has already mapped out all the hikes she wants to try. Her zest for life is honestly so infectious. Oh, and last week I bumped into Rachel's old roommate at this coffee shop I frequent. We got to chatting, and she mentioned how Rachel had seen us on social media. Apparently, Rachel told her, "Wow, they actually look really happy together. Honestly, that feels like the closest thing to closure we're gonna get. So, that's the current status. It wasn't the most traditional way to find love, but I am really thankful for how everything turned out. Sometimes you have to go through the wrong relationship to stumble upon the right one, and sometimes it's right under your nose the whole time. Fast forward a year, and here's the latest update on this wild journey. Jess and I moved in together last month. It was a pretty big deal, especially considering how our story began, but it just felt like the right move. We found this great spot that's halfway between both our workplaces. It even has a spare room, which Jess wanted for a home gym and I wanted for an office space. Oh, and get this, Rachel's engaged. Talk about a twist, huh? She met some tech guy in Seattle and got engaged after just 6 months. We found out when Carol showed us the announcement over dinner. Rachel looked really happy, and honestly, I'm glad for her. No bad vibes anymore, just realized we weren't really meant to be. Family gatherings have finally hit a new normal, and holiday dinners are just part of the routine now, even if they started off super awkward. Carol's even cracking jokes about how she got me as a son-in-law through a different route. I mean, come on, Carol, a little too soon, don't you think? Jess and I aren't rushing things. We're just loving building our life together, taking it slow but sure. Sometimes you just know when it's right, but you also know to take your time with it. Thinking back to that moment on the stairs with the groceries still blows my mind. 1 second, I was planning a future with someone who basically saw me as a placeholder, and the next, I was walking away from all of that. It was simultaneously the hardest and easiest decision of my life. I've thought a lot about what I'd change, and honestly, the answer is nothing. Not a single thing. If I hadn't overheard that chat, I might have ended up proposing to Rachel and spending years with someone always on the lookout for something better. Instead, I found someone who looks at me and thinks, yep, this is who I want. That grocery trip might have cost me one relationship, but it saved me from a marriage built on lies. And through all the chaos and hurt feelings, it led me to exactly where I was meant to be. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all, it's just living your best life.